private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game, or any segment, without the express written consent of the Yankees is prohibited.
All right, William. Here's Gary Ward, 282, 5 homers, 40 runs batted in. Louisiana Lightning on the mound. Oh, good slider. Swung right over the top. Strike one. Hey, White, I want you to know I have had people who listened yesterday when I said I had bought that book and Mickey Mantle signed it for my buddy Al Booker. I brought it to him in the hospital today.
Yeah.
And that's got it, Jim. He's going to beat it, I'm telling you. Strike two. That really perked him up. But I paid for that book. I heard what you said, not firsthand, secondhand.
What did I say?
You said somebody probably gave it to him. But I kept the little slip they give you when you buy a book.
Where is it?
It's not tax deductible. Never mind. All right, they want to strike out a little low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Where's the slip?
I got it, don't worry. Son of a gun, I didn't bring it today, though.
Just let me see the slip.
All right. Ah, but I'd said it. That was really great medicine.
Don't put it on your expense account.
No, no. Base hit. Got it a little higher than he would like, that breaking pitch. Hey, that's Omar Marino in center field.
That's right. Somebody's got to play out there.
All right, let's see. I better check that outfield. Griffey, Marino, and Pasqua. Where's Winfield?
DHing.
I should have checked this lineup. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
you
there's
should have.
no, but there were so many distractions. Jimmy Hunter, 9 guys had me cornered.
There are 9 guys out on the field.
Alan Bannister. Ball 1. I realized Bannister had such big arms. That's why he looked a little different. He's batting .304. No homers, 1 RBI. No score here. Top of the second. 2 balls, no strikes.
Hey.
What?
Reading this Ask Red, I didn't know this. That,
What's that?
Said which players have the most doubles, triples, and homers in All-Star games? You know that Ask Red column we always kid read about? Yes, who has
You're in that.
Nope.
No? Most doubles, triples, and homers?
Yeah, who has the most doubles in All-Star competition over the years?
Pete Rose.
Dave Winfield.
Dave Winfield.
4.
Only 4, yeah?
How about triples?
Triples, wait a minute. I got to think of somebody.
Made a great catch yesterday.
Made a great catch. Willie Mays.
And Brooks Robinson. They have 3. Who has the most home runs in All-Star competition? He was here yesterday. You
Mickey
interviewed him.
Mantle.
Nope.
Joe DiMaggio. Fly ball to center field. No, I didn't interview Joe. Omar Marino makes the catch. 1 out. Stan Musial.
That's right.
Boy, I wouldn't have got any of them.
Musial had 6 home runs in All-Star competition.
How do you like that? You know, I know what's throwing me off. I'm thinking a World Series play.
You think Red actually writes those questions himself?
No.
Huh?
He picks out the ones that he knows he can answer.
Oh, Red can answer anything.
I know it.
He can go right to that rule book, too. I tried to trick him the other day about Mattingly's streak. He says, oh, no, I got it right here in black and white. Went right to the book. Let's, for you people who might have missed Willie Mays catching the old-timers game yesterday, we've got it for you again. That's Gene Michael hitting his long ball.
Right.
Avila got out of the way. Look at Mays.
Look at that, huh? Now, this was a smart play, that rolling over. He could have really been hurt.
He still has quite a bit of agility.
Say, hey, he never loses that boyish enthusiasm. Now, how about Slaughter sliding in the third? I think he's aching today. He's got to be aching. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on George Wright. 1 man out. No score here, top of the second. I said that was a great day yesterday. Hank Bauer and Gene Woodling came upstairs and bruised my body a little bit. Bill Dickey was great to see. Sweet William. He had been under the weather. And Tommy Henrik and Charlie Keller, along with Joe, comprised. That had to be one of the best outfields in all of baseball for power and defense. That's playable. Pagliarulo with the glasses down. And there are 2 away. You know, I like that remark you said. When
First base.
Well, Phil Negro had a new pitch yesterday in his win over Texas. Let's watch it again.
Oh, the Folly floater knuckleball, and he called it a strike.
What were you saying before that?
Oh, when Musial was telling me all about his real estate holdings and everything, you said he owns St. Louis, and he laughed. The runner's going. They got a shot, no, into center field. And that'll be a stolen base and an error. Bobby Meacham got there a little late, and if he went to catch it, he'd have run right into Gary Ward.
Here it is again. Ball's right there for Hasse. He comes up and throws. The ball will tail a bit toward right field, and it's behind the sliding Gary Ward, and he'll go on to third base. An error on Ron Hasse. Stolen base and an error. Pitch was a strike.
All right, 2 men are out. Pete O'Brien, he's batting down in the 7th spot today with the left-hander pitching. Ooh, did he swing? No. It's the appeal to the third base umpire. Marty Springstead, it's 1-1. Two balls and a strike.
Here's the relay. Henderson running the ball down yesterday in the outfield. He couldn't get to it. But Ricky will get the ball into Bobby Meacham. Toby Harrah trying to score, and let's watch the throw home.
Boy, that made it, didn't it?
Yep.
Great throw.
Right there, and Weininger gets bowled over, but he held onto the baseball.
Boy, I'd tell you, Weininger did some job holding on to that ball as O'Brien swings and misses. It's 2-2 with 2 out. That was a big play in the ball game. Rangers would have had a big rally going because O'Brien ended up at third. Got him! Strike 3. Guidry's second strikeout. No runs, a hit, an error, a man left, and at the end of an inning and a half, the Rangers nothing and the Yankees nothing.
Greatest shortstop in their history on Sunday afternoon, August 4th. It'll be day here at Yankee Stadium. Make plans now to join the Yankees in honoring with the pregame festivities and entertainment before the Yankees meet the White Sox at 2 o'clock. That's Sunday, August 4th. Good seats are on sale now.
Now, White always did have trouble with Italian names. Anybody I know, White?
You. That's August 4th, Sunday afternoon at 2. Phil Rizzuto Day here at the stadium.
All right, Dave Winfield takes the ball. Bill told you Dave's the DH today. Batting .297, 11 homers, 52 runs batted in. Burt Hooten on the mound. Strike 1-1. I'm sure Winfield, as we look at the weather conditions, 87, boy, that's hot. Humidity is, thank goodness, not as high as the temperature, 60. Winds southwest 13 and partly cloudy. 2 balls and a strike. I started to say Winfield, I'm sure, has faced Hooten before, White, right? In the National League?
Yes, should have. That's
San
right.
Diego?
San Diego and the Dodgers, they're trying to create a intersectional rivalry out there on the West Coast.
Has it happened? Not really. A little bit, maybe. That's out of play.
That's intersectional, though, right? Yeah. Right?
I don't know. I get Bob Shepard over here for that one. Nobody out, nobody on here in the bottom of the second. Two pitchers are pitching today that was scheduled to start the All-Star game. Ron Guidry for the Yankees and Dwight Gooden for the Mets. And
how do you like that Joaquin Andahar saying, I won't go?
No, I didn't know that. Did he check it? Yes, it's 3-2. He said that?
He is not going to go. He said, I'd go if you named me starting pitcher because I've won 15 games and I should be the starting pitcher.
I think so, too.
Well, he says, blank, no, I won't go.
Fill in the blank. Gee, nobody's going to get this one. Left center. Holy cow, it went over the wall. I don't believe it. That's the way White hits his golf shots. I can't believe that ball carried over the wall.
And you know what happens every time a Yankee hits a home run? Hey, Dave Winfield, this butt for you.
I don't think that ball got over 10 feet high all the way out. I couldn't believe it.
Here it is again. Look at that arm extension.
Oh, man, he had them out.
When Dave comes through, his whole body's behind it. And he gets that extension. This ball just keeps going. And it's over the wall, just to the left of the 411 mark.
And here's the kid as we look at it again. And goes all the way back, hits the back wall on a fly. Dan Pasqua, who hit 2 upper deck home runs last game he started. And that's 1-1 to Pasqua.
By the way, Ron Darling of the Mets will replace Andujar in the All-Star game.
Well, why wouldn't they name him starting pitcher?
Well, they had named a starter. He just figured that we should name me the starter, and Herzog, whoever's over there, hadn't named anybody.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Let's see, who won it over there last year?
Oh,
Dick Williams. That's right, yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes on the knuckle curve. Now, Gooden will not be able to pitch, so they're playing with a man short. Guidry thought about it. That's low, and figured if they put a body in there that could help the American League, and Bobby Brown agreed with him. He applauded that idea. Talking to Bobby, you know, you were telling me about Bobby Thompson saying I shouldn't say how he slid and broke his leg.
Yep.
Bobby Brown is ball 4 to Pasqua.
You better quit saying that Dr. Brown had an iron glove.
That's right. That's exactly. I didn't realize how I grate on people's nerves. I am terrible. I told Bill yesterday I got to qualify everything by saying that's a joke, because my sense of humor is, I think, a little weird or warped. Bobby Brown was very upset. I couldn't believe it. He came right over and told me. He says, I wish you'd stop telling people I was a terrible fielder, you know, with very good diction.
Yeah.
I try to change the subject and say, are you still live in Texas? He said, forget that. Now, so I'm going to qualify it right now. Hasse takes the strike.
You're going to qualify what?
When I get a chance to think of something nice to say about Brown's fielding. No, I used to kid around with Bobby, and 1-1. Hasse batting .298, 4 homers, 12 RBIs. The stick, Gene Michael giving the say. You know, I roomed with Bobby Brown one night, White, and I unloaded him in a hurry. Nice guy, very nice habits, takes a shower, you know, uses underarm deodorant, but he grinds his teeth. Did you ever hear that? I woke up in the middle of the night. I thought we were being invaded.
Now, wait a minute. You just said that you were going to
say something nice about his fielding. That's got nothing to do with other things. He'll really get on me for that, because only he and his wife know that. And me. Foul tip.
Well, how about Yogi? Didn't Dr. Brown?
That's right, Yogi. Well, no, the thing with Yogi, let me tell you what Yogi, anybody that roomed with Yogi.
You know that youngster there?
Where?
Bringing you your coffee.
Hey, that's Bill Kane's boy. Where you been? Oh, I haven't seen him since I used to bounce him off my knee. A base hit to left field. That'll drop in. Pasqua's going to go to third. Hasse better go back. He does. Oh, heads up base running by Dan Pasqua. I think he decoyed Gary Ward there, Bill.
Well, he showed a lot of hustle and a lot of moxie there as Hasse looped that ball down the left field side. Here it is again. Ball's away. Hasse gets it out on the end of the bat. Ward chasing. Obviously cannot get to it. And there's Pasqua really digging to third base. Ward has to throw behind him to keep Hasse at first. Good base running.
Yes, sir. All right, nobody out. And we look at that play again. What Pasqua did is he rounded second, was kind of slow up for a second. And then Ward figured he was going to stop and threw into second. Ball one. Pags hitting .217. There's Pasqua at third, Hasse at first. Nobody out, and the Yankees leading 1-0. This is a big ball game. It's a big ball game for both teams. Texas trying to get off a losing streak, but the Yankees want to continue. There's a little loop that's going to be trouble. McDowell coming on. He can't get it. Holy cow. Everything going the Yankees' way. And an RBI for Pags, and he's got a big smile on his face. That's a tough play for center fielder. If the infielder gives up too soon, with a big swing like that, you think it's going to be hit deep, and he hesitated and then couldn't get to it. And still nobody out. Runners at first and second.
As we look at it from another angle, Harris sees he can't get the ball. He goes back to cover second, and the ball hits in front of Oda B. McDowell for the base hit and the run batted in. Tom House now out talking to Burt Hooten, saying a lot of that's not your fault. It's just fate.
That's right. The one ball that was hit on the nose was Winfield. The other two were bloops and a walk. Now Bobby Meacham. And the Rangers will be looking for the bunt. And now Gene Michael going to make sure that Meacham knows the sign.
Bobby Meacham.
Best way to do it.
Number 20.
Out in the bullpen. Well, they don't have an 18 on the scorecard. 41.
Actually, it's Chris Welch.
Chris Welch, the left-hander, right.
18 is Glenn Ezel, the bullpen coach.
I know Bobby Valentine's had a lot of problems with his bullpen, so he might be called on. They're looking for the bunt. He's swinging away, but it's high. Ball one. There's Billy flashing the signs. Pags at first, Hasse at second. Base hit left field. Oh, man. Hasse scores. Pags goes back to second. The Yankees lead 3-0. I want to tell you something. The Yankees have had a potent offense of late.
And let's watch it again. Here's Hooten's fastball outside. And the Yankees are going with the pitches away. Meacham with a base hit and a run batted in. Hasse scoring easily. Bobby Meacham now has 30 runs batted in.
And Bill, you and I were talking before. The Yankees had been winning without Pags and Meacham hitting. And once they start, along with Pasqua, things are going to be a lot easier. Here's Omar hitting 186, one homer, 2 RBIs. He squares the bunt, takes a... He called it a strike. Stick giving him the hit signal there. Could be a decoy. Marino's a tough man to double up. They gave him the swing away sign, but it's low, 1-1. Now he squares the bunt and fouls it off at the plate. Kind of a nonchalant attempt by Omar Marino on that bunt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, they are not wristbands. His wrists are probably so thin he's got to use armbands. Outside, 2-2. You know, White, I knew this kid. He was one of my best friends. Bill got a letter from somebody. Anyway, he said, who was the only man that could throw a banana 20 feet in the air and catch it in his mouth? And that's true. The kid's name was Joe Conti. Drive, that's going to be in for a base hit. Bouncing off the wall. And they hold Meacham up. As Pagliarulo scores, the Yankees lead 4-0 on a long double. And I think Billy Martin might do away with the bunt completely after this inning.
Well, they've gotten the leadoff home run from Winfield, a walk, and now 3 straight singles and a double. As we look at George Wright chase it down, scoring easily. There's Pagliarulo. Meacham held at third base, and the Yankees continue to pound on the Ranger pitchers.
All right. Second and third now. Nobody out, and Willie Randolph the batter, and Bobby Valentine's got the infield in. You almost have to do this when you're behind 4-0 early in the game. Try and cut off the run. But they're not going to cut this one off. It'll be caught by Wright, tagging up as Meacham. The throw to the plate. Not in time. Meacham scores, going to third. Marino. The Yankees lead 5-0 on a sacrifice fly by Willie Randolph. Omar at third.
And that's the first out this inning.
First out. And Griffey will be the 8th batter here in the bottom of the second.
That knuckle curveball moved out over the plate, and Randolph went to right field, got it out deep enough. And George Wright makes a strong throw, but not in time to get the speedy Bobby Mitchell.
All right, Griffey bounced to second his first time up. Ball 1. Burt Hooten getting roughed up a little bit here in the second inning. Low, nice block by Brummer. Bobby Valentine. He'll get through this season. Next year he'll try and get the players that he would start with in spring training. He's going to be a good manager if they give him time. They don't get too impatient. 3 balls, no strikes. Ticked his bat on 3-0, and that makes it 3-1.
Well, you don't want to get that kind of cut on 3-0.
No, you got to unbutton that top button and really take a swing. I had my barber come by this morning and cut my hair on Sunday morning. Lou the barber. Got a lot of tips on the stock market, and walk to Griffey. Loads him up. No, first and third.
And that's going to be all for Burt Hooten. Bobby Valentine going out. He's got the left-hander Chris Welsh getting loose, and he wants him. So that's all for Hooten. He goes 1 1/3. Gives up the 5 runs on 5 hits. Walked 2 and did not strike out a Yankee. So while the pitching change is being made, let's take time out along the Yankee Baseball Network for the following message. At Chris Welsh, the left-hander, taking over for Burt Hooten here in the second inning, with the Yankees scoring 5 times and chasing Hooten here in the second. Winfield led off with a line shot home run over the fence at the 411 mark in center field. Then Dan Pasqua walked. Hasse singled left with Pasqua going to third. Palirulo dumped the single into center field. That drove in Pasqua. Meacham single to left. Scored Hasse. Moreno then doubled in. Who did he double in? He doubled in Palirulo, right?
Right.
And then Randolph got the sacrifice fly with Meacham scoring. And, of course, a walk to Griffey. Mr. Hooten is in taking an early shower. And here is Chris Welsh. Welsh is making his 10th appearance for the Texas Rangers. 9 of those have been relief appearances. And he's had 1 start. He's won a game and lost 2 with an ERA of 2.45. And he'll be pitching to Don Mattingly. Scooter?
All right, Mattingly flied to center his first time up. And Don will be the 9th Yankee to bat here in the bottom of the 2nd. So Mattingly, who went for the collar, the Yankees runners at first and third. Griffey at first, Marino at third. And a curve breaks over, strike 1. Told you Mattingly had his 20-game hitting streak stopped in yesterday's game. Hated to do that with all the old-timers here because they've been reading so much about Mattingly. Low, 1-1. Oh, Henderson and Brett are now tied for the American League lead. That Boggs coming up at 336. Cooper and Mattingly 5th. Adam reaching for that fastball, a ball and 2 strikes. Strange thing happened, White. Durwood Merrill asked me to sign a ball yesterday. First umpire to speak to me this year. And then Jim McKean today said, say hello to Ducky Cassess. Ducky, a great friend of the umpires and all of baseball, in a hospital at Holy Name in Teaneck. The runner's going, struck him out. Throw to second, they don't have him. Stolen base for Griffey. But Mattingly strikes out.
Well, you don't see that too often. Here's Mattingly waiting on the pitch from Welch. It's a ball, a little slider on the outside part of the plate. Don did not go get the ball. He kept his hips out and tried to reach for the ball. And here's Griffey stealing second base as Mattingly struck out. Mattingly has struck out now 20 times this year.
That's a lot for him. They're going to put Winfield on. Oh, I was just going to say 2 homers in 1 inning. And they're going to pitch to young Dan Pasqua, who had 2 homers in 1 game.
Well, he might just get Baylor. I'm not sure here.
Well, you know, it worked so great the last time, but in this situation, they put Baylor in. He hit a pinch hit grand slam.
Well, when you're leading 5-0 early, you might want to save Baylor for later. There's Martin talking to Piniella. We're on Hasse. This is ball 4 to Winfield.
Pasqua not quite sure. He's slowly walking to the plate. Last time he had gotten a home plate and they called him back. A lot of people write in and say, why does Eddie Layton play Easter Parade when Pasqua comes up? Because Pasqua in Italian means Easter.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
You don't understand Italian.
Dan, some I do, White. Some I do. Ball 1, not.
Understand you're going to school.
Yes, going to college. I always wanted to go to college. Always wanted to be a collegiate and wear those short pants and
the beanie.
The beanie and Brooks Brothers clothes. A bouncer D hit it off the end of the bat. O'Brien will step on the bag. And that'll do it. But the Yankees pick up 5 runs on 5 hits. no errors, and leave the bases loaded. And they ended 2, Yankees 5, Rangers nothing.
For all Yankee fans, is coming up during the next homestand. The Yankees play the Chicago White Sox August 2nd through the 5th. That'll be a 4-game series, and all fans at the game on Saturday afternoon, August 3rd, will take home a free canvas Yankee tote bag, compliments of Incalan. Good seats are on sale for the White Sox series, so make plans now. And remember, Incalan Yankee Tote Bag Day on the 3rd, when the Yankees play the Chicago White Sox, game time 1 o'clock on the 3rd. And of course, the next day is the Scooters Day.
Oh, ooh, look at that beautiful bird.
I see that the Commissioner of Baseball, Peter Uberoth, has announced the umpires and official scores for Tuesday's All-Star game.
I'd like to hear the umpires.
It'll be the 56th All-Star game. For the American League, it'll be Larry McCoy behind home plate, Nick Bremigan at second, and Drew Coble out in left field. For the National League, John Kibler at first, Charlie Williams at third, and Randy Marsh out in right.
All right, Glenn Brummer to lead it off. Ball 1. What else did he announce?
We'd like to congratulate Red Foley. He's been selected as one of the official scorers.
Oh, great, great. Foul out of play, 1-1. Red deserves it. He was a pretty good ball player in his day, the old Redhead.
He knows the game.
Yep. Louisiana Lightning gunning for his 11th win in a row. High, 2-1. I wish you'd keep me up with the paper because I didn't have time. I was so busy this morning getting a haircut. Foul back and out of play. And then if you get time, read me the funnies. You know, Mayor LaGuardia used to read me the funnies when I was a kid. All the kids, not just me, but that was one of the things he did on Sunday morning. He'd read. And in those days, the comic strips were really funny. Now
they have radio then?
They had radio. Yes, they had. It wasn't television. It was radio. Of course they had radio. It might have been a crystal set we had, but we heard them. Popped it up. And Dan Pasqua. One away.
Number 3, Wayne Thomason, shortstop. Number 3.
You know, the operation that our president has had, and thankfully it was successful, no cancer or anything. He's amazing for his age. They say he's in such great shape. Beautiful. But I understand he requested the comic strips. Not somebody to read them to him, but he could read them. Something light so he'd get the business of this terrible things happening in the world off his mind for a little while and recuperate. But that's everybody's going to know now because it seems like every 5 minutes you get a report on the colon and
semicolon.
No. This is serious business, White. But it really is interesting. The only thing is they show the pictures. You know, they're very descriptive with the pictures of the inner workings of the body. 3 balls and a strike, the count on Wayne Thomason.
Dr. Rizzuta.
Well, I talked to Bobby Brown yesterday, you know.
Yeah, did he mention anything about the game?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he did. It's 3 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. And that's back and out of play. Connie's on the ball, isn't he? 3-2 is the count. 1 out. Yankees scored all 5 runs in the 2nd inning. Tigers are leading Minnesota 4-0 in the 3rd. But the Yankees are in sole possession of 2nd place. Base hit ripped to left field. That's the 2nd hit off Guidry. And here is, don't have to tell you who's coming up. The villain, Toby Harrah. That's a good nickname, Jimmy Hunter. Toby Boo Harrah. 1 out. Berra, though, having a fine year at 285, 6 homers, 24 runs batted in. Lead the league in walks, on base percentage. Strike one. And now Guidry looked like he might have hurt himself. Holy cow. Or did somebody throw something? Well, what is that?
Is that a piece of pipe?
Binoculars?
Binoculars?
I don't know. Oh, man, somebody's really flaky in that upper deck.
They are
binoculars. Can you believe that? If that would have hit Guidry, it could have killed him. Oh, man, I tell you this. I don't know. That's got to shake Guidry up a little bit. That is one of the dumbest things I have ever seen pulled at any ballpark. And they are scouting around. Somebody's going to point out the culprit, I'm sure. Good slider. 0-2. Trying to move Pasquale, finally gets his eye. Moved him in, and he hits it right out to Pasquale, almost where Piniella had moved him. Makes the catch. 2 men are out. Harrell will be glad to get back to Texas or any place away from New York.
Center fielder,
B. McDowell. Bounced to second his first time up. Couldn't check a strike one. Quick flip. Hasse can do that beautifully. Throws right in back of the hitter. He's left-handed. What's that headline, White? Texas burned on Bell. I thought you were going to read me the paper while we're going along. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
I'm going to listen to you.
No, but I figured by today he was supposed to have been traded to somebody.
Buddy Bell?
Yeah.
What happened to the John Candelaria deal?
I don't know. All right, Guidry with an 0-2 count. Reuter jumped the runner had, but he struck him out anyway. Holy cow, Tolleson would have stolen second base standing up, but Louisiana Lightning picks up his third strikeout at the end of 2.5. Yankees 5, Rangers nothing.
That'll be Ron Hasse leading off here against Chris Welch as we play the bottom half of the third inning with the Yankees leading Texas 5-0. The Yankees trying for a sweep of this 4-game series with the Rangers. Scooter?
All right, Ron Hasse. Single to left his first time up and scored. Pops this one up. The shortstop, Tolleson, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
the third baseman.
And that'll bring up Pagliarulo. So with the Yankees leading 5-0, Billy Martin has not gone to the platooning. At least not yet with the left-hander out there. He let Pasqua hit. He let Hasse hit. He's letting Pagliarulo hit. Strike 1. Hags had a looping single to center field to drive in a run his first time up and later scored. Yankees leading 5-0. Sidearm curve low, 1-1. Now something got in Pags' eye right there. You better make sure he gets it out, boy. All you got to do is blink and then not see the ball well. Two balls and a strike. 2-2. Welch reminds me a little bit of Scotty McGregor. He doesn't come quite as far across his body with the throw, but he kind of hesitates right like Scotty does right at the top. 3-2. Fly, shallow left, Tollison back, Ward in. Ward calls him off and makes the catch. 2 men out.
Shortstop, Bobby Meacham.
Now Bobby Meacham, who batting left-handed, singled a drive in a run and scored in the second. That was off Burt Hooten. Now turns around to bat right-handed. Yankees scoring all 5 times in the bottom of the second. Nice one-hand pickup by Brummer on a ball. Straightaway center, O.B. McDowell. And that'll do it. Bill White and Spencer Ross will carry you along at the end of 3. The Yankees 5 and the Rangers nothing.
Second, it'll be Polish American night here at the stadium. The popularity of last year's festivities has brought it back for the 2nd year. And once again, the fans on hand will be treated to pregame entertainment by the world-renowned Jimmy Sturr Band, as well as ceremonies involving Polish American Yankees and White Sox. Good seats are on sale now, so make plans to be at Yankee Stadium for Polish American night, Friday, August 2nd. Yankees will be opening a 4-game set with the White Sox. This is Buddy Bell, and that's Moreno, and there's one down. Bill White along with Spencer Ross. We're in the top of the 4th with the Yankees leading an explosive bottom half of the second, Spencer.
I'll tell you, they got to Burt Hooten and got to him really very well. Guidry, we talked last time at his last start. You kind of thought it was his best performance of the year because
he had nothing.
He didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And today he's kind of coasting along. Of course, this is not quite the ball club he beat the last time, Kansas City.
Here's Gary Ward, who singled to center field in the second inning. Right short hop by Meacham. He'll have to play at the first. And there are 2 outs. 2 outs, nobody on. Playing here in the 4th inning. 2 quick outs for Guidry. Hasn't worked a sweat up here this inning.
I'll tell you, you can work a sweat up in about 16 seconds, so it's a warm, muggy day. Alan Bannister, he'll step in. Meacham's play it short. As we watch Bannister, I just want to ask you a question, Bill. That throw yesterday to the plate to cut off the run, to cut off Toby Harrah, I think that surprised a lot of people, how accurate and the velocity he had in his arm. He has a heck of an arm.
Well, when he comes overhand, his velocity, his accuracy always surprises people. That carried well for me right on the money, though, and yeah. They cut down Harrah trying to score. Well, he makes most of his bad throws. Obviously, he's got a strong arm. He makes most of his bad throws when he comes overhanded. Bannister fly to center field in the second inning, and the count now is 2 balls and a strike. Yankees have a 5-0 lead playing in the 4th inning here at Yankee Stadium. Rangers will be glad to get out of this ballpark. Look at Paliulo at third base. Quick hands. Quick hands for Paliulo as he stayed with that bad hop. 3 up and 3 down at the end of 3.5 innings of play. The Yankees 5, the Rangers nothing.
That's Chris Welch. Bill?
He doubled in a run in the second. Yankees leading 5-0 in batting. Moreno 1 for 1 in the game. That double moved his batting average up 14 points to an even 200. And the run batted in was his 3rd. No balls, 2 strikes on Moreno. He'll be followed by Randolph, then Ken Griffey. He's now 1 for 2 in the game.
Left left fielder.
And the batter now is Ken Griffey, the Yankee left fielder, who's bounced to second, walked, and stolen a base. So the Yankees now, Spencer, 3.5 games behind the first place Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees playing now a dozen games over 500.
And right now the Yankees on the biggest roll of those teams in the Eastern Division. Boston had that run the beginning of June, but it's kind of like a racehorse that was 20 lengths behind. Made a big move and couldn't brush by anybody, and they've tailed back now as we take a look at the standings in the American League East. Toronto in front by 3.5. Toronto, interesting thing about their game last night, they lost in the bottom of the ninth on Bob Boone's 2-run pinch single. But in the top of the ninth, I think one of the keys for the Blue Jays in the second half, Al Oliver, had that home run. And since they've gotten him, they're getting good production from him.
He likes American League pitching. 2 balls, no strikes on Griffey. Randolph at first, 1 away. Yankees have a 5-0 lead over the Texas Rangers, and we're playing in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Well, the Tigers have taken a 4-0 lead over Minnesota into the 6th inning. That go through, base hit, and Randolph will go on to third. No throw by Wright. Griffey can hit that ball between the first baseman and the second baseman, with the first baseman holding a runner on about as well as anybody.
I don't know how many times you've said it this year, Bill, but he does it time after time, particularly that first baseman holding on the runner, and he just finds that hole between first and second. He did it Friday night against the Texas Rangers when O'Brien had to hold a runner on. And the Yankees are threatening again here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And Don Mattingly has a chance to pick up his 70th run batted in. He had a chance in the second inning, but he struck out for the second out. Then Dave Winfield was intensely passed, and Dan Pasqua bounced to first for the 3rd out. So Mattingly's fly to center, and he struck out in 2 trips. He lost a 20-game hitting streak yesterday. That'll be a double play. Tollison touches up at second base, throws on the first for the 6-6-3 double play. No runs, 2 hits, and the Yankees leave a man on base. We played 4 in the score. The Yankees 5, the Rangers nothing.
The stadium, Ron Guidry working on a 2-hit shutout. Yankees leading the ball game 5-0, and Guidry will face George Wright, Pete O'Brien, and Glenn Brummer. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Wright has been up once and fouled out to Palirulo at third base, and that's a ball. Rangers have just 2 base hits off Guidry so far through the first 4 innings. A single by Ward in the second inning, and a single by Tollison in the third. This is playable. Griffey in left, and George Wright's the first out in the 5th inning.
Seems like everything George Wright hits is playable over the last couple of seasons, particularly this year. He just can't buy a base hit. You have to wonder if that rookie year he had at this point has established himself as kind of, in quotes now, a flash in the pan. I don't mean to denigrate him too much, but he's hitting about 140, 150, and he just had tough times the last 2 years, Bill.
Well, they went to school on him, and he hasn't adjusted. He has been injured also. Pete O'Brien, the first baseman. 10 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Guidry struck him out in the second inning. Guidry struck out 3 so far in the game, has not walked a Ranger, and leads 5-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on O'Brien. He really came into his own last year.
Yeah, he's hit about 290 the last couple of years. That's Dave Rozema beginning to heat up in the Texas Ranger bullpen. But he's a real nice player, this Pete O'Brien. Plays his position well and can hit the ball.
And to left again. And again, Ken Griffey with an easy time of it. And there are 2 outs.
The catcher, Glenn Brummer.
Here's Glenn Brummer, the catcher for the Rangers. He flied to Pasqua in right field his first time at bat. Yankees on a roll. They've won 5 straight, their longest winning streak of the season, 6 straight. They're trying to match that figure. Deep right, and out there is Pasqua on the edge of the warning track, and on the warning track, and that'll retire the side. 3 up and 3 down after 4.5 innings of play. The Yankees lead the Rangers 5-0.
you think you're looking
The Yankee Stadium advanced ticket windows 7 days a week from 9 to 5, or by visiting any tri-state Ticket World outlet. For information and credit card orders, call Ticket World toll free at 1-800-682-8080. For additional Yankee ticket information, call the ticket office at 212-293-6013. Dave Winfield, who started off the Yankees' 5-run second inning with a home run to lead it off here for the Yankees in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bill?
All right, Spencer, he not only hit the home run, he's been intentionally passed, so Winfield 1 for 1. The home run, by the way, was his 12th of the year, and the run batted in his 53rd.
And a pretty good shot right to the right of the flagpole, a little bit to the left of that 411-foot sign. When it first hit it, it didn't look like it was going out, Bill. Just kept carrying and carrying.
Winfield now just 1 point under 300. He's at 299. He's been on a tear, and it's 1-1 on Winfield. Over his last 10 games, Winfield hitting over 380. He's hit in 17 of his last 23. Batting over 360 in that span. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Winfield. This has not been a good road trip for the Texas Rangers.
No, they had problems. They had problems in both domes. As we take a look at the scoreboard, that's Terrell working on the shutout. Kansas City with Bud Black beating Cleveland.
Buddy Bell at third. And there's 1 away. Winfield bouncing out 5-3. Overall, the Yankees have beaten the Rangers 6 out of 8. On the trip down to Arlington, the Rangers took 2 out of 3, but the Yankees have won 5 straight, actually 6 straight since then.
This Texas club, really without Cliff Johnson and Parrish, with them, they're not a great ball club. Without them, they're in bad trouble.
That's a curve in for Dan Pasqua. Well, they provided some power for the Rangers. Without them, they've got to try to score runs one at a time and hope for good pitching and good defense.
Bill, I would think, as we look at the scoreboard, the way to build a ball club, you do build it with youth, with the way Bobby Valentine is doing it, but it's nice to have a few veterans who've been around, who know what winning is all about. Somebody like Cliff Johnson can't hurt your ball club, and he'll help you with the bat, and also he can help the youngsters. There aren't too many people here who can help the youngsters as far as the players are concerned.
That's why 2-2. I think what Valentine will do, we've seen some of the things, he's bringing in young pitchers. Rather than let them learn at Oklahoma City, they're going to learn up here how to pitch. Probably getting rid of some of the older players who've gotten used to losing. That happens quite often.
Well, they got rid of Frank Tanana, who could be a big boost to Detroit. But he was really their veteran. But they got a few veterans, though. They got the Huffs and the Hootens still around.
2-2 on Pasqua. That curve missed inside, ball 3.
Despite the pitching change, Billy has stayed with his left-handed hitting lineup, and it's a good opportunity to see what Dan Pasqua can do against the lefties.
That's a fair ball. O'Brien will play it himself at first base, and there are 2 outs. All the scoring for the Yankees coming in the bottom half of the 2nd inning when they chased the starter Burt Hooten. They scored 5 runs on 5 base hits in that inning and left the bases loaded, so they had an opportunity to pick up a few more runs. Ron Hasse has singled to left, and he's popped to short. 1 for 2 in the game.
Bill, we were talking about the bats and the weight of the bats, the lightness. Ron Hasse uses a 31-ounce bat. It seems that most of the players many of the players are coming down to the lighter weight bats. How big a bat did you use? You never weighed it, huh?
No.
Come on, you have to know what kind of bat you use.
I know what kind of bat I use. I used a U1. I don't know the weights. That's wide. Why do you ask those? Why do you ask those questions? Make me think.
Every 12-year-old kid knows how much the bat weighs, White.
You just pick it up if it swing. If it feels good, you swing it. If it doesn't, you throw it down and pick up another one. Those guys who throw hard, you pick up a heavy bat. The ones that throw soft, you use a lighter bat. This is sliced to left field. Ward on the run. He can't get to it. Ooh, it's foul.
He might have hit his knee right up against the railing there.
Well, he's limping a little bit. Wayne Tollis not with Gary Ward. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, we'll take another look at it here. Hasse just curves it down the line. You see Ward coming over. He thinks he has a play and tries to stop. And I think his left knee just goes slamming into that wall. That might have been his right one.
Well, it's 3 balls and a strike on Hasse. Yankees leading 5-0. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Yankee Stadium. So far, a breeze for Ron Guidry. He's given up just 2 singles in the game. Guidry trying for his 11th straight win. Two and 2 the count. Welsh has plenty of time. And that'll retire the side. A 1-3 put out. 3 up, 3 down. We played 5. The score, the Yankees 5, the Rangers nothing.
We start the 6th inning. Yankees with a 5-0 lead. The Rangers with but 2 base hits. A 2nd inning single by Gary Ward. A 1-out single in the 3rd inning by the 9th man in the batting order, Wayne Tollis. And since then, Ron Guidry has retired 8 straight. He has yet to walk a batter, and he has struck out 3. In his previous start against Kansas City, Cater had control problems for him. His most walks in a ball game as he walked 4, won 8 2/3 innings and beating the Royals 6-4. Right here, he will start off against Tollison and then back to the top of the order, Toby Harrah and Odabe McDowell. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Tollison a single in the 3rd, 1 for 1. He's batting .321. And he takes high, ball 1. Yankees will open up in Minnesota after the All-Star break, and the Minnesota Twins will host this year's All-Star game. They foul back. This is the 59th All-Star year, right?
Well, 1934 was the first game in Chicago when Carl Hubble had that incredible streak of striking out those American League stars. And it's still a lot of fun. In my opinion, it is a fans game, and I like the fact that the fans do the voting.
Yeah, I know you do. I don't.
You don't? Okay, well, we're entitled to our opinion.
Yep.
It's a fun game, though.
No, you got to want to win it. If you're going to don't keep score there.
Oh, you got to keep score. Yeah.
Popped up center field, Moreno. Now, there's a nice article in today's Daily News. In fact, 2 articles. One by Bill Madden saying the players should choose it, and the other by Jack Lang saying that it's a fans game. As you said, it's the same thing you said. They're going to vote on the people they want to see play in that game. All I know is that I didn't want to lose. We never lost to the American League.
I don't think anybody wants to lose who plays the game.
If you don't want to lose, you better send your best people out there. That's what we did in the National League. Never lost a game to the American League. We had a 1-1 tie in Boston called because of rain once. I think the only tie game in All-Star history. Toby Harrah with a count 1-1.
It sure turned around from the early years when I think at one point the American League had a 12-4 edge in the All-Star game competition.
Well, the National League got smart. Under the guise of putting more money in the pension fund for the players, start playing 2 games, and we caught up with them quite
That's when
fast.
you guys were better at that time. Let's play catch-up.
You could win 2 a year.
And you did, the National League.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Louisiana Lightning on Toby Harrah. Guidry's like a cat on the mound. And there are 2 outs. Good move by Ron Guidry, moving toward the 3rd base line.
He is so pretty to watch because, as you said, Bill, he is like a cat. And I never really saw Harry Brackeen pitch, but they said he came off the mound like this. Stops himself, has a bit of a problem, sees the runner coming down the line and throws a perfect strike to Don Mattingly for the second out. Makes it look easy, but it certainly is not. Nice play by the Gator.
Good quick move by Ron Guidry. Here's O.B. McDowell, the young center fielder for the Rangers. He's bounced to second and struck out. Seeing Guidry for the first time in his young career. Right at Randolph. And again, a 3-up, 3-down inning for Ron Guidry. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, the Yankees 5, Rangers nothing.
Phil Rizzuto, Yankees with a 5-0 lead, 5 runs on 7 hits. The Rangers, no runs on 2 hits. The Yankees with all their runs in the second inning when 11 men went to the plate. Dave Winfield led it off with a home run, and they knocked Burt Hooten out. Chris Welsh came on. He has been on since and has shut the Yankees out, and he'll face Pagliarulo, Meacham, and Omar Moreno, the bottom 3 in the Yankee batting order. Bill?
All right, Spence Pagliarulo is 1 for 2 in the game. He has driven in a run, and he scored 1. And the curve is low, ball 1 from Chris Welsh. Burt Hooten started for the Rangers. He lasted 1 1/3 innings, gave up all 5 runs on 5 hits. Chris Welsh relieved him in that second inning. To left, Ward. Fine play by Gary Ward as he grabbed that right off his shoe tops.
Came in, timed it perfectly, and the Rangers representative in the All-Star game in Minnesota comes up with that shoestring catch in left field. Pagliarulo going to the opposite field, and watch Ward come in and just grab it off the shoe tops for the first out. Another look at it from a different angle. The ball gets by him. It's a double and perhaps a triple, but he had it. 1 man away.
And Bobby Meacham takes a strike. Ward's got to be happy about the All-Star assignment because he started his career with the Minnesota Twins. They traded him to Texas.
You know, Bill, I was just thinking, Pagliarulo just made out in the first inning. He hit a bloop single to center field. McDowell couldn't get to it.
That's a base hit for Meacham.
And that seemed to me to be a similar play that Willie Mays made the catch on yesterday. It came that far. Amazing, amazing man, Willie Mays.
So our viewers got a chance to see that play again here as we showed it to them earlier. With Mays playing actually almost behind second base in shallow right center.
And here's O.B. McDowell, great speed, young ball player in the little blooper early in this game. Similar to the one Willie put away, and McDowell couldn't get to it.
Omar Moreno doubled in a run, and he's bounced to second, 1 for 2. Drill right center field. George Wright will not get to it. Gene Michael is going to wave Meacham on. It's going to be close. Nope, it will not be close. Tollison bobbled the ball out near second base, and a run scores. Moreno gets a triple, and the Yankees now lead 6-0.
And he hit this one to just about the same spot as he hit the double back in the second inning. Wright goes back and is unable to get the ball. It bounces, gets a good bounce off the wall right to him. There's Meacham rounding second, and the throw kind of lazy back in. And you see Tollison just holding on to the ball and not figuring out where he had to throw, as actually that ball was overthrown to Hara. I guess Hara was the initial cutoff man in that, Bill, and they overthrew Hara, and then Tollison couldn't come up with a throw.
Tollison came up with a short hop and was off balance, decided to hold on to the ball. They're going to walk Randolph intentionally. This is strange. They're going to walk Randolph to pitch to Griffey, and they have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Maybe they're going to walk Griffey too to load him up and get the floor somewhere.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I wonder what Bobby's got up his sleeve here. That's ball 4.
Nice.
Oh, Randolph Randolph intentionally passed.
Valentine just
he just wants a lefty to pitch to the lefty.
Yeah, lefty to pitch to the lefty.
Griffey's bounced to second, walked and single to right field. He likes this situation. Now, though, they're going to play him to pull.
Pull is an understatement because Wayne Tollison is playing practically straight behind second base. Strange shift.
There's a strike. Runners at first and third, one down. Yankees leading 6-0 in the 6th inning.
Any additional adrenaline, Bill, when you played?
Yeah.
Walk somebody to get to you?
You figure that manager thinks that that guy that he walked is a better hitter than you are. One ball, one strike on Griffey. He singled to right field off Welsh's last time up. Runners going, and the ball is off. Let's see, they should have Moreno. No, they do not. The young catcher, Glenn Brummer, took his eye off the ball, trying to throw it home, and bobbled it. So Randolph will get a stolen base. A pass ball charged to Glenn Brummer. That's how the run scored. Here it is again.
He's looking up as Brummer because he sees the runner immediately running towards second, Willie Randolph. And as you said, Bill, he took his eye off it, and here comes Moreno into the plate to score the Yankees' second run of the inning in the 7th of the ball game. And down at second, Willie Randolph, and the count is now 2-1 on Ken Griffey.
Well, the first thing you tell young players is you've got to see the ball, pick it up, then make your play. Brummer looking home, bobbled the ball, could not make a play anywhere. Moreno scoring. That's low. 3 balls and a strike on Griffey. And 2 on Griffey. Trying to hit that one into the upper deck. Yankees 7 runs, 9 hits. Rangers no runs, 2 hits. And a call, strike 3. Griffey caught looking. But I guess that's what Valentine wanted.
Yeah. Well, it would have worked if not for the fast ball. Good pitch, though, thrown up by Chris Welch on that 3-2. And here comes Mattingly.
Mattingly's had a tough afternoon. He slid to center field, struck out, and bounced into a double play. 0 for 3. Still batting at .309 with 9 home runs and 69 runs batted in. There are 2 outs. Low. The RBI leaders, Mattingly at 69, Gibson at 61, Baylor at 60, Cal Ripken of Baltimore at 59. Two and 0 on Mattingly. Just missed the outside corner. 3-0. Dave Winfield is on deck. Ball 4. Mattingly walks. And Bobby Valentine walking slowly out of the Ranger dugout. He's got a right-hander getting loose in the Ranger bullpen.
And he has not made the signal yet. He has now made the signal, and we're going to get a new pitcher coming into the ball game for the Texas Rangers. The Yankees lead at 7-0 while the pitching change is being made. Let's take time out along the Yankee Baseball Network for the following. in the ball game with a record of 2-2, a 2.39 earned run average. This is 32nd appearance of the year. He has saved 6 games, and he appeared earlier in this series. We check out the rest of his statistics in 64 innings, 36 base hits. He's walked 21 and struck out 54. He pitched an inning on Friday night against the Yankees in the Yankees victory, and did not give up a base hit, and he struck out 2. Was in a couple of other ball games for the Rangers against the Yankees this year. On April 30th here at the stadium, 2 no-hit innings, and on May the 15th he went 4 2/3 innings and no-hit the Yankees in relief. The Rangers wound up losing that ball game by a score of 6-5. And he will face Dave Winfield with runners at first and second and 2 men out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees have already scored 2 runs. Chris Welsh leaves, 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits, walked 3, 2 of them intentionally, struck out 2, gave up 2 runs, and responsible for the 2 men on base. And Billy Martin on the telephone right now. The bullpen, maybe. I don't know. Who's he?
Winfield takes a strike from Greg Harris. Dave has homered. He's been intentionally passed, and he's bounced to third. Winfield a 1 for 2. Batting .298 now. Base hit here will put him right at an even 300. Yankee runners first and second with 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike on Winfield. Dave will be going to the All-Star game along with Ricky Henderson. Randolph down at second, Mattingly on at first. Of course, it's homecoming for Winfield. He lives in St. Paul, Minnesota. Good breaking ball by Harris. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We take another look at it right here.
Out front. So you get on that front foot.
Right. Just lunged out at it.
1-2 the count. Called strike 3. So Greg Harris comes on. He does a job. 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 men left on the Dodge scoreboard. The score at the end of 6. The Yankees 7, the Rangers nothing.
As we go to the 7th inning, change defensively for the New York Yankees. Billy Sample will come into play center field in place of Omar Moreno. Moreno did a good job this afternoon. A double, a triple, and a couple of RBIs. And Ron Guidry, who's done a good job this afternoon, pitches to Buddy Bell. Ball 1. Bell is 0 for 2, bounced to third, fly to center. Rangers with only 2 base hits in the ball game. Meacham grabs that soft line drive for the first out here in the 7th inning. That's an even dozen. 12 straight Texas Rangers to go down since a 3rd inning 1-out single by Wayne Tollison off Ron Guidry. Gary Ward steps in. He has 1 of the hits. He singled in the 2nd. Stole 2nd. And went to 3rd when Hasse threw the ball into center field and was left there. Strike 1, 0-1. Ward, whose average now is up to 284, was struggling along at about 225 and then went on a tear. And he's hitting nearly 340 over his last 44 ball games. He will be on the American League squad for the All-Star game in Minnesota. 0-2. Oh, perfect fastball right down the heart of the plate. Strikeout number 4 for Ron Guidry for the 2nd out here in the top half of the 7th inning. Guidry wasn't wasting one that time. 0-2, fastball down the center of the plate. And here's Alan Bannister. Bannister's 0 for 2. Pauliarulo robbed him of a hit in the 4th inning. Short center field, long run for Billy Sample, and he's there. 1-2-3 inning for Ron Guidry. 14 straight Rangers go down, and through 6.5, it's the Yankees 7 and Texas nothing. Dave Stewart, fourth pitcher in the ball game for the Texas Rangers. Greg Harris just pitched 1/3 of an inning. He struck out Winfield with 2 men on and 2 men out in the 6th inning. Stewart came into the ball game on Friday night, pitched an inning in the Yankees 6-0 victory, gave up a run on a hit. This is 3rd appearance against the Yankees this season. Back in May 16th, he went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs and 2 hits, gave up a tying home run to Don Baylor in the 8th inning, and then lost the game in the 9th in a 6-5 Yankee victory. He is 0-4 on the season, and he will face Dan Pasqua, Ron Hasse, and Mike Pagliarulo. Pasqua's 0 for 2. He walked in the 2nd, scored a run, and then bounced out to Pete O'Brien at first base in both the 3rd and the 5th inning.
One thing Bobby Valentine's doing is making sure all his pitchers get a little bit of work for the All-Star break.
And one thing Billy Martin's doing too, as we watch Pasqua take a strike, is he stayed with the same lineup, did Billy, despite the fact that they came with a left-hander. Let Pasqua get a couple of at-bats against a lefty.
Beautiful. Give him that little bit of experience.
1-1. Well, the Yankees jumped out to that big lead at 5-0, and Billy, I guess, just didn't want to make the changes that early.
You know, it kind of shook me up again when Henderson did not start. You hate to lose that run in the 1st inning. Oh, look at this.
This is deep, but it doesn't carry that far, and it's hauled in by Odabe McDowell. A good stroke once again by Dan Pasqua. The ball just kind of rockets off the bat.
Yep. But that was something with Henderson not starting, and then Marino in center, and just shows what kind of a day when things are going great. Marino called on the bunt, half-heartedly tried to lay down a bunt, and then creamed a double after getting 2 strikes on him. And he had another double.
No, triple. They gave him
a triple. Right. That's right. They never threw the ball home.
Here's Ron Hasse. He's 1 for 3. He singled and scored a run in that 5-run 2nd inning for the Yankees. 1 for 3. Down low. 2-0. Three balls and no strikes. Stewart has a real good fastball. They've clocked it as high as 95. Did you hear Nolan Ryan in that game last week against the Mets? They clocked one of his fastballs at 97 miles an hour.
Still, and all the balls he's thrown.
38 years old.
Amazing.
Outside, ball 4.
Amazing arm he must have. You know, he throws anywhere from 150 to 180 pitches a game.
He throws a few.
And he's been around so long.
Mike Pagliarulo steps in. Bags is 1 for 3. He had a bloop single in the 2nd inning, and then a fly to left in the 3rd and again in the 6th inning. Fouls this one back, and I was saying to Bill, the bloop single that he got in the 2nd inning, Odabe McDowell came in, didn't get the ball, and it reminded me a little of Willie Mays yesterday. Willie Mays got that same type of ball yesterday.
Well, Willie wasn't fooled. Odabe took 1 step back before he started in. Mays made a great.
One step, you're talking 30 years, though, between the two.
But Mays, he'll never use that little kid. He'll never lose that little kid feeling that he's had. Every time he puts on a uniform, he goes all out. He showed me something when he rolled over, because he could have jammed his shoulder or
could have been out for a couple weeks.
Yep. Miss a few old-timers games.
Yeah. 1-1 to Pagliarulo. Bottom of the 7th. The Yanks lead 7-0. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Looks like Stewart's really overthrowing.
He's had some control problems in the past. Billy Martin pointing from the dugout.
Boy, everybody laughs when you're winning, right? Makes it a happy game.
He was kidding with Hasse, telling him not to steal. A little late on that pitch. 2-2 was inside. There's Ron Hasse, a 1-out walk here in the 7th. Check swing, and it's foul. And the count holds 2-2. Just rocketed off the bat. Yankees got 5 runs in the second. 11 men went to the plate. Dave Winfield started it off, hitting a 3-2 pitch for a home run, his 12th of the year. And Billy's still jiving around a little down in the dugout.
I think he wants Hasse to try and steal second. That would be a big upset.
A major upset. Center field, McDowell. And there are 2 men away. It'll bring up Bobby Meacham, who has had a good afternoon. An RBI single in that 5-run second for the Yankees. And then he singled in the 6th inning. And came around to score on Omar Moreno's triple. So Bobby is 2 for 3 and hitting now at .230. Ball 1. Big play yesterday and throwing out Toby Hara at the plate.
Boy, that was a great throw. Oh, he was deep too.
Up high. 2-0. Meacham got the 2nd inning single batting left-handed, and the 6th inning single batting righty, and he pops this one up. The shortstop, Wayne Tollison. Side is retired, no runs. Yankees get a walk, they leave one, and through 7 here at the stadium, it's New York 7, Texas nothing. Rangers to come to the plate. And the Yankees with a 7-0 lead. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Rangers, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. And here in the 8th inning, it'll be George Wright, Pete O'Brien, and Glenn Brummer. Wright is 0 for 2. He popped to Pagliarulo and then flied to left. Warm afternoon here at the stadium. And the Yankees a hot ball club. 3.5 behind Toronto coming into play today. Strike 1. And a game ahead of the 3rd place Detroit Tigers, who are leading Minnesota this afternoon. They have yet to beat the Twins this year. 7 in a row for Minnesota. Strange game, this baseball.
I'll say.
There's the story on Guidry this afternoon. 2 hits. He struck out 4, has yet to walk a batter. And he's ahead now on George Wright at 0-2.
Well, it was Guidry's decision to pitch today. Billy Martin asked him. That kept him from starting in the All-Star game. But Guidry's putting the team's chances ahead of the All-Star, and Bobby Brown agrees with him.
His number came up today, and heck, if he didn't pitch today, it would be next Thursday.
That's right.
In Minnesota before he'd get a start. Right now, Guidry can come back Friday or Saturday and pitch again for the Yankees in Minnesota. Meacham, short hop, knocks it down, makes the play in time. Good play by Meacham.
You know, that's the 2nd time he's made that play today. The first time he didn't bobble it, but what I liked about it, he gets his body. Watch this now. This is the way for kids to learn. If it takes that bad hop, it's going to hit off your body and bounce right in front of you. And then Bobby pounces on the ball and makes a good, strong throw.
So there's 1 man away, and Pete O'Brien will step in. Gary Ward at a second inning single. Wayne Tollison one in the third. Since then, Ron Guidry has been perfect. O'Brien's 0 for 2, one of Guidry's 4 strikeout victims. Well, Detroit now leading Minnesota 6-0 in the 8th inning. Walt Terrell working on the shutout. Kansas City over Cleveland 6-3 in the 7th. Bud Black. Chicago leads Baltimore 3-2.
And that's Seaver going for
297. Toronto at California. Jim Clancy pitches against Rafael Lugo. Mattingly will take this one easily for the second out here in the 8th inning. That's right, 2 outs. And it'll bring up the catcher Glenn Brummer.
I don't know when that came into it. You know, they used the little finger and the index finger.
Well, back when you started playing, people's eyesight was better, so you could use the 2 fingers next to each other. Now you use the 2 outside fingers, you see.
What football team uses that?
What?
The fans do this on some football team, the little finger and the forefinger.
2 outside fingers?
Hook 'em horns. White's got it. Hook 'em horns. What team is that, White?
Texas.
Texas. There it is. Hook 'em horns. That high five came into effect too, fortunately, after I was through playing.
Yeah, you would have
I'd have been injured many times.
You would have had a tough time getting a high five. 0-2 to Brummer. Good.
Oh!
Pagliarulo, the throw, not a time.
What a great play, and just a little wider, he'd have had him. Holy cow.
And considering the way he had to throw it, he got off a pretty good throw to first base.
Watch this. I mean, it's by him. And if he'd have thrown it straight, Mattingly would be able to stretch and get him. And you know, Mattingly is telling the umpire he never had his foot off the bag, if that's why he called him safe. What a great play. And how many do you have in a row? That stops it.
Well, that stops it after 16 in a row, Scooter. An infield hit. With 2 outs, Wayne Tollison steps in. Right field, Pasqua will not have a play. Talked about the great job Ed Whitson's done over his last few starts.
Oh, yes.
The Guidry story in his last 7 starts now, in nearly 58 innings, Guidry has given up 7 runs, 7 earned runs. That's just about 6 games. It's a little more than a run per game. And in those 58 innings, he's walked 7 batters. That's a big edge when you can have the control of a Ron Guidry. Right down the pipe.
In one of those games, he walked 4 men.
That was the last game.
There's a lot of them. He didn't walk anybody, right?
That was the last game against Kansas City. Beating Minnesota, complete game. He didn't walk anybody. Against Milwaukee, walked 1. Detroit, no walks. Toronto, no walks. Everything else there was 1-2, and the rest ones. Oh! Big pitch by Gator to retire the side. Strike 3 called. His 5th strikeout. The Rangers do get a hit. They leave 1, and through 7.5, it's the Yankees 7, Texas nothing. The New York Yankee baseball are your Toyota dealer in the extra value package trucks that can now save you big bucks on added features. Exceptionally smooth Michelob, the beer of choice for people who are moving up. Where you're going, it's Michelob. Your Tri-State Dodge dealers who invite you to test drive Poetry in Motion, the 1985 Dodge Lancer, and by the New York Yankees. Well, we've got our 5th pitcher in the ball game for the Texas Rangers. Dave Schmidt now comes on with a 1.93 earned run average, as Stewart went but 1 inning, gave up a walk. For Schmidt, His third appearance in this series.
Your attention, please.
Pitched a total of 2 innings, given up 2 hits and no runs, and an impressive earned run average of 1.93.
Number 24.
He was the loser in a ball game against the Yankees here at the stadium, 6-5, as he came on, and the Yankees scored a run in the 9th inning on a walk, a stolen base, a tag up, and an error. A fellow named Henderson was the man who was scurrying around the bases, as he has so often this season. So Schmidt is on for Stewart, who went an inning. And Billy Sample, who came into the ball game for Omar Moreno in the 7th inning, gets his first at bat. Moreno had a double and a triple, a couple of RBIs, and scored a run.
I want to show you something here, Ross. This is going to be my card. I like this card. It's from Jim Frishone in Jamestown. He says, 80 years old, no phone, no business, no money, no problems.
It's a good business card.
Retired. I like that.
You'll show that to me in about 10 years. 1-1 to Billy Sample.
So Connie just thought of something.
Left field, and it is a foul ball. Want to send our best wishes to Louis Morales of the Yankee ticket office.
Oh.
Louis has been under the weather, and he might be home this afternoon watching the ball game.
I know Louis came back one day during this week because I called him for tickets. And then Jimmy Esposito very shortly will be operated on, the head of our ground crew. And Lou Napoli is going in the hospital right after we leave.
Do you have any good news?
No.
2-2 to Sample. Yankees with a 7-0 lead. 5 runs in the second when 11 came to the plate. Winfield started it off with a home run. 2 more in the 6th. And Guidry with a 3-hit pitching performance through 8 innings. Ball 3. Good play by Schmidt. If it gets over his head, it's going to be a base hit because Sample has good speed. Score at 1-3 for the first out.
Second baseman.
It's a check swing, and it hits the ground, and Schmidt does time it beautifully.
So there's 1 man out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and back to the top of the Yankee order, Willie Randolph. Willie is 1 for 2 officially. Bounced to short at a sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning, which scored Meacham, and singled in the 4th, and then was walked intentionally in the 6th inning. Down low. I said to Bill White after they walked Willie Randolph, had put runners at 1st and 3rd. Moreno had just tripled. Griffey came to the plate. I said, did that get your adrenaline flowing when something like that would happen? How about you? Did that get you when they'd walk somebody to get to you?
They never walked anybody to get to me. No, wait a minute. They did walk people to get to me. You're right. They didn't walk me to get to anybody.
No,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, and did your adrenaline get? Will you answer my question?
Oh, yes. Oh, you'd get mad. Absolutely. You'd want to get a base hit. I wasn't thinking clearly there.
Okay.
Ken Griffey.
So Randolph retired and a bouncer to Buddy Bell, and here's Ken Griffey.
By the way, did you see that weird defensive alignment they had?
Yeah.
When they walked, I couldn't believe that. For Griffey, I mean, he hits the left field a lot, and they had the shortstop and back a second. They almost got it now.
Tollison right now maybe 10 feet
Yeah.
to the left of second base. Up high, ball 1. Pulled way around on Ken Griffey in a big gap in left center field. Strike 1, 1-1. There you see it. Look at Tollison.
Yeah, and Bell way over. It's weird for Griffey, who can hit the ball all over.
Down low, let's see. He did not go around. 2-1. As third base umpire Rich Humphrey says no, he did not. This is popped up Buddy Bell. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dave Schmidt. Nothing across for the Yankees. We go to the 9th inning. Yankees 7, Rangers nothing. What's this? Phil Rizzuto Day at Yankee Stadium. You make plans now to join the Yankees in honoring the Scooter with pregame festivities and entertainment before the Yankees meet the White Sox at 2 p.m. Long hit ball by Toby Harrah off the wall. Griffey plays it, and Toby Harrah is in with a stand-up double.
They even boom when he gets a base hit.
Oh, yeah, they'll continue to boom. They got hold of that pitch right there to lead off the 9th inning.
Oh, there was Belty, and he just creamed it. Griffey gave it a good try, but it wasn't hit high enough for him to get back in time. It hits the base, one hop, short hop against the wall. But they've held him to a double, so Guidry's still with a good shot at the shutout.
And Oda B. McDowell will step in as Harris stands down at second base. Remember, Phil Rizzuto D here at the stadium Sunday, August 4th. Good seats on sale now. I'm going to be here. You're going to be. You're going to show up, aren't you?
I think I'll be here for that day. If they don't go on strike before that.
Let's hope not.
Oh, Jimmy Hunter, he's superstitious. Don't say that, he said. Papers say it every day.
You're excited about it, though.
Oh,
Just good.
Nervous.
Nervous?
Very nervous.
Deserve it. Strike one. McDowell is 0 for 3. He's bounced to second twice and struck out swinging. Guidry has struck out 5, has not walked the batter, and given up only 4 base hits.
Guidry's going to reach back for a little extra. He can. Oh.
Mattingly will make the play as Harrah will advance to third as the first out is recorded.
Let's see. I know you play the infield back when you got a big lead, but Guidry wants this shutout. Buddy Bell, I don't believe has had a hit in the whole series, has he?
He's been
struggling. And he's still a Texas Ranger, and I thought he was supposed to be traded by today sometime.
Well, after this weekend, his stock may have gone down a little bit.
Yeah. Nope. They got the infield back. I was hoping Billy would bring him in.
Up high, ball one. Guidry with 2 shutouts. He shut out Baltimore on June the 17th. Came back with 3 days rest to shut out the Tigers 4-0 on 4 hits. There's Harrah at third. Got the inside corner with a good slider.
Bell likes that ball away. That was he couldn't handle that pitch.
Well, Detroit beat Minnesota 8-0. Walt Terrell with the shutout. Kansas City over Cleveland 6-3 in the 8th. Chicago leading Baltimore 3-2 in the 6th. Got him. Strike 2. 1-2. Toronto will pitch Jim Clancy against Rafael Lugo later this afternoon in Anaheim.
Well, let's see if Guidry can reach back for a little extra for this strikeout.
Fastball, that's going to bring home the run. And forget the shutout as Griffey is there, and Harrah will score easily with the first run of the ball game for the Texas Rangers, who were shut out Friday night, got a run yesterday, and waited till the 9th inning today to get one off of Ron Guidry. So it's now 7-1, and 2 men are out.
Gary Ward.
Gary Ward. He has one of the 4 hits off Guidry. A single in the second inning. He's 1 for 3. Outside, ball 1. Yankees looking to equal their longest winning streak of the season at 6. And a victory today would make them 24-3 over the Western Division teams here at Yankee Stadium. Only loss in this homestand for the Yankees came last Monday against Kansas City 5-2. Strike 2. So the Gator is 1 pitch away from his 11th consecutive victory, and the crowd comes to its feet. 1-2 to Gary Ward with 2 men out, and the Yankees leading 7-1. Two and two. Make it 11 in a row for Ron Guidry, a 4-hit performance. As the Yankees have won their 6th straight, Guidry improves his record to 12-3. Yankees win it 7-1, and we'll get back right after this. Vice salute to the Gator, Ron Guidry, who won his 12th game of the year, most in the American League this afternoon, his 11th victory in a row since losing on April the 29th. Guidry leads the league in winning percentage, second in earned run average, trailing Toronto's Dave Stieb, and in his last 7 starts, Guidry has given up only 8 earned runs, walked 7, struck out 32 in 59 innings, only 41 base hits, and he finishes it off by striking out Gary Ward. For Guidry, his 6th strikeout of the ball game. He lost a shutout in the 9th inning when Toby Harrah led it off with a double, and then with 1 out scored on Buddy Bell's sacrifice fly. So the Yankees have won their 6th in a row, and right now, depending on what Toronto does at California, the Yankees could be as close as 2.5 games from the top, and just 1 game behind on the loss column. Right now, 2 behind on the loss column. The line score on the ball game as the Yankees get 5 runs, send 11 men to the plate in the 2nd inning. Dave Winfield home run started it off. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Yankees. For the Rangers, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors. The Yankees now 13 games over 500. So that's it from Yankee Stadium. For Bill White and Phil Rizzuto, Spencer Ross inviting you to join us on Friday, July the 19th at 8:30 p.m. The All-Star break will be completed. The Yankees will be in Minnesota to take on the Twins right here along the New York Yankee Baseball Network.
If I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to